Hello everyone and welcome to the application walkthrough for the Breaking Barriers application process. I'm going to be walking you through the whole application from start to submit. So first step is I'm going to go ahead and log in. You will need an account to apply for this. If you do not have an account, feel free to click on this sign up button right here at the bottom. You'll follow these items that are denoted by this asterisk. That means that the field is required. Once you are done, click on sign up and then you will get an email prompting you to set up your password. So going on ahead and going to the login page, I'm going to go ahead and type in my credentials. Once I'm logged in, it's going to take me to this home page right here. If you scroll down, note that there is this ask a question bar. So if you have any questions, you can type them in here. There are these two buttons at the bottom where you can click on the pertaining organization for the application you want to apply to. Scrolling up, we can also access our funding opportunities right here. So if we click on funding opportunities, it's going to show us a list of the available CWDB funding opportunities. If you do not have this list view when you enter into this, you can simply click on this drop-down menu right here, click on CWDB funding opportunities, and then pin it. So once you pin it, that means that every time you open this, that will be the view you have. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Breaking Barriers, so AB 628 Breaking Barriers to Employment Initiative. Note that it says the application due date, so 9/2/2022, the agency name, its current status, and the requested funding available. If you ever want to expand or make smaller the different screens, you can go like this. Clicking into the opportunity, this is the preview that you're going to see prior to applying for the application. Note this information, description, and then here at the bottom it's going to tell you if you have any current applications within the funding opportunity. Once you're ready to go, click on the apply button. I'm going to fill in these fields just at random since this is just a test environment and dummy information. We're going to put in our requested amount. Note that there is a help bubble right here, so if you just hover over it, it's going to let you know what you need to do or just any extra information. So I'm just going to put in 20,000 for now. I'm going to continue filling in this information. Note another help bubble right here. Put in your points of contact. Go ahead and go to the fiscal contact. Approval of authorized representative. And then the date, which will either be today's date or future date. Once you're done, go ahead and click on that save button. You'll get this success message here at the top, and then you'll be into the application. Scrolling down, this is our cover page. You'll note this acknowledgement right here. If you want to continue on with the application, you will need to click I agree. Once you agree, you'll proceed on the confirmation page. You'll get a green pop-up message, and it'll take you back to the cover page. If you have made any errors in your cover page, you can simply click on this pencil icon right here, and then you can edit as needed. Just click on save, and your edits will be saved. Moving on to the narrative. There's a message at the top telling you to read through all the narrative questions before you begin. You may print a PDF of the entire application by selecting print view in the top right corner. And note that there is a 3,000 character limit per narrative question, and all questions are required to be filled out. So a quick preview of what this print PDF is. If you decide that you want to view the applications on a paper copy or PDF, you can click on print view right here. It's going to take you to basically just a different view of the application. If you want to go ahead and print this, you would right click, click print. You can either save as PDF or you can print it. And that way you can just get a preview of the questions. The narrative questions, so all of these need to be filled out. First will be the project framework. So I'm not going to be actually filling this information out. I will just be putting tests in order just to provide a preview of this section. Once you go into this on your own, you can go ahead and go into more detail on what these questions are and what they require. And for any questions regarding these questions, please reach out to the appropriate staff. And they're happy to help. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through these questions, providing you a preview of what they look like. Again, note that there is a 3,000 character limit. So this is a character limit and not a word limit. So that's something to keep in mind. Note that this question is optional, so there are bonus points available. What that means is just those are extra points that are noted when your application is being scored, and more points is more beneficial. Next section is the services provided. So be going through these questions, putting in your content. Next is the partnership project team. Be going through these. This one says if applicable, so if it's not applicable, you can simply just put an NA in case it requires you to have this filled out. We'll go ahead and put in test, just for our dummy information. So next is the grantee requirements. We're going to go ahead and put in test, so we can just continue on with filling out these fields. Next section is sustainability, and that is the last question for the narrative. Once you are done, scroll up to the top and click on Save. If you do not save your information, it will not stay with you through the next tabs. Note also that you do not need to go in order on the tabs, so you can go onto Budget Summary, then you can go into Budget Narrative. So feel free to fill that out as needed. So moving on to the Expend Plan, note here at the top, it gives you just some brief information regarding this page. We have the quarter/schedule for breaking barriers as well. Moving into Funding Plan, we'll be filling out information here. As we fill out information, it's going to show up here at the bottom. So I'm just going to leave these numbers as 0. Something important to note is that these fields need to match the grant funds and the leveraged funds field. So I'm going to put 20,000 and it needs to be reflected here as well. Those figures also need to match here. So we'll need that 20,000, 20,000. So then you'd go ahead and type in as needed. So I'll just click into Q1 for now, put in my numbers. Note how this is not a clickable field. As you type in here, it's going to add up. So if you note that if I put in 10,000, it'll add to the 20,000, totaling 30,000. Now that my fields all match, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, I can go ahead and click on Save. I'll get my success message, and then I'll move on to my budget narrative. Looking here at the top, it's going to provide me more details and explanations on the information required of me in the budget narrative. You can go ahead and read through that. As we scroll down, you can fill in our information as needed. These fields auto-calculate, so note that this is auto-calculating here at the bottom, and then totaling. If you have more staff salaries and benefits that you want to add, you would click on this Add button right here. If you choose to delete them, you'd click on the trash icon. You'll get a message prompting you, are you sure you want to delete? You can click OK. And it's going to be the same concept here on these options at the bottom. You can add and you can delete. If there are any fields that do not pertain to you, please go ahead and do not fill out that field. So don't put an NA, because if you put NA, then you are required to put in a number amount right here. So if it's not applicable, leave it blank. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down so we can just get a preview of the sections here. We have staff travel, operating expenses, furniture and equipment, consumable testing and instructional materials, training tuition, payments, vouchers, on-the-job training, participant wages, fringe benefits and stipends, supportive services, contractual services, subrecipient, and that would be it. At the bottom, the grant award total will equal to $2. That is because we inputted that number here at the top in staff salaries. Note here also that your grant award total at the bottom needs to be equal to your subgrant amount. So I requested $20,000. So I need to make sure that this number at the bottom will be equal to $20,000. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in $20,000 here to make my fields match so that we can move on to the next section. Note it's important I click save so I don't lose my information. Then I move on to supplemental budget. Here at the top again we have this information in case it's needed. Section 1 is for equipment, so you would type in your fields as needed, quantity, percent charged project, and it's going to auto-calculate. Same concept as last time. If you have anything you need to add, you will click on that add button, and you can click on the trash icon to delete. Next section is our subrecipients and contractors. So section 2 is contractual services, section 3 is subrecipient. You'll type in your information as needed, and each of these different sections is going to have their individual add buttons for if you need to add any additional fields, and their own save icons as well. Once you are done with this, you'll make sure that you click your save icons, and you'll move on to the next part, budget summary. Here at the top, it's going to have listed some information that will be helpful for you when filling out the budget summary. Scrolling down, you'll notice the different fields: grant funds, leveraged fund, matching, total project budget, source of leveraged funds, and the type of leveraged fund. Scrolling down, and then it'll calculate here at the bottom. So just like with the other fields, the total grant amount at the bottom will need to equal the total subgrant amount. So it will need to be equal to my requested amount of $20,000. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my $20,000 in order to have those matching fields. We'll type in our source of leveraged funds, and then we can select this drop-down menu to select the type of leveraged fund. It's going to auto-calculate here at the bottom. It's going to auto-populate here at the bottom. It's going to show my $20,000. We'll go up, click save. We'll get our success message. And then we'll move on to the work plan. In the work plan, there will be this information at the top to help guide you through the process. We'll have a quarter and a schedule for breaking barriers. So when you're filling out these quarters, you'll make sure that you select dates that are between the dates listed for that quarter. So for example, quarter 1, we would need to add a date listed between January 1st, 2023 and March 31st, 2023. If the quarter does not apply to you, simply leave it blank. So you'll fill in your information, you'll click on save, and you'll get a success message. Once you're done filling out the work plan as needed, you will then move on to the partner R&R. Here you'll know again some information here at the top to help guide you through this. There are some required fields on this page, so note they're denoted by this red asterisk, the local workforce development boards and the community-based organizations. The rest of these do not have those required buttons. So when filling this out, you'll click on this add icon. You'll type in your information, type in your numbers, your leveraged funding type. We'll do the same for community-based organizations. And you can add as needed and trash icon as needed, just like the previous tabs. When you're done, go ahead and click on save. Important to remember to do that after each step. And when you're happy with how you filled out your partner R&R, you can go ahead to the next section. So you can click on more to expand your tabs, or it might already be expanded and not have that more tab. Now at our participant plan, we're going to identify our target populations. So in section 1, you'll select your available value. You'll click on this arrow to move it over. You can click on this arrow to move it back if you decide you don't want it anymore. On the right will be what you have selected. Scrolling down to section 2 of the participant plan. Note that if you type in your numbers right here, the numbers then calculate here at the bottom for your totals. So you can kind of add your new participants, the ones that have exited, and it'll calculate here at the bottom, and you can monitor that. Scrolling down, all the 3 of these are separate, but it's the same concept. It's going to calculate here at the bottom. You'll then provide your details as needed. Then once you're done, you'll go ahead and click on that save icon. Once you're done with that, our last tab is going to be our upload documents. So note that some of the documents are required, while some are if applicable. That will be noted under the name. When going to add a document, you'll click on Upload Files. You'll select your document and click on Open. Give it a moment to load. Then you'll have a one-of-one file uploaded when it is successful. So it's important to add your documents to those required fields. Then once you are done, there is no save icon here. It's just going to save here. If you have any documents that you want to add that are not listed here, you can either put them into the other, or you can select on this new tab, type in the document name, document format, any other /comments, and click on save. Once you are happy with your application, you're confident that you filled it out, you can click on this print view and to preview your application as a PDF just to ensure that you filled everything out correctly. Or you can go through the tabs individually and just ensure that you fill that out correctly. And then when you're done, just go ahead and click on submit. You'll get this message saying, are you sure you want to submit the application? We'll say yes. And it's going to tell us your application submitted successfully. Note then our progress bar is now updated, and instead of application in progress, we're now in application submitted. So if we had had any errors, when we had clicked submit, it would have told us what we need to fix and in which tabs our errors would have been in. But since we completed everything successfully, we matched with the requested amount, we did not get those errors. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. We are here to help and help you guide you through the process. Thank you.